Hello everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel of Floxus, and here we are with the ninth part of Python Bootcamp course. And today we are going to see about exceptions and error trapping. So let's start with it. Okay, so let me just explain you these two terms, that is exceptions and error. So basically, error is any problem, like it is any kind of problem that we have in our program or in our code, okay, due to which the terminal, or we can say the execution of the code ends, or ends abnormally, okay. So that's called an error, okay. But so it's basically the problem in our code, okay. The problem is in our code or the program that is getting executed. But in the other hand, we have exceptions. Basically, in exceptions, what happens, it is the problem that is internally, okay. We can say we have no syntax error, okay. There's no problem in our code, but there is some logical error, okay, which is not possible. I will give you some example. Like, suppose any number, okay, any integer, like I will say 1 divided by 0, we know that it is infinity. Any number that is divided by 0 is infinity, we know that. But the computer cannot execute this, okay. How will the computer tells us that something that is undefined, it cannot print that, okay. So that's a simple example of logical error that I have given. So that's where the role of exceptions comes in, okay. So basically, the exceptions is the internal problem that is there inside the code, okay, while execution it happens, okay. Whereas the error is like it is the problem in the code, okay, while writing. Sometimes we forget, like we like suppose if I write print and then hello, okay, and I forgot to add the double quotes, okay. So I just forgot that, and that will be causing, that's the problem in the code, okay. It's not like any logical error is happening or anything like that, okay. So that's that's error, okay. And I hope now you're clear with the concept of exception and error. Also, we are going to see about more in detail, like what are the types of error basically, okay. And which kind of error is known as exception, okay, and how we can actually handle these types of exceptions, okay. So let's start. So yeah, a Python program terminates as soon as it encounters an error, okay. So we, like, whenever there will be any syntax error or any logical error, okay, the program will terminate, or we can say the terminal will exit, or the code will be it will end, okay. The execution will end. So, and sometimes it shows us that which kind of error it is. Mainly it shows us if it is a syntax error, then it will tell you that yes, in this point you have an error, you have missed a colon, or you can say you have missed a double quote, or anything like that, any syntax error, okay. So yeah, by this we get to know about the how actually we can what is the concept of error. And let's just see what are the mainly two types of errors, okay. So mainly we have syntax error and runtime error. This runtime error is also known as logical error. As I've already explained, what is a logical error? Anything that basically logical error will not have any problem in the code. You have written your code very nicely, but sometimes what happens, you are asking the user to input any value. Like suppose I'm asking user to input integer type of value, okay, input something, okay, and y equal to input something. Now user is not aware about what is happening in that code, okay. Like suppose what I have done, I have written x by y, print, okay, print x by y. Now user has given some value for x, like suppose 10, and now it has given the value of y, that is 0. Now here the comes the problem, now we are not having any problem in the code, but the problem is in the logic, okay. Term, like in terminal, we cannot write something that is not defined, that is undefined, okay. We cannot write infinity, okay. So at that time, that will cause a logical error, okay, and that's also called as runtime error. And handling these type of error, okay, that is the runtime error, is actually the exceptions. Okay, it is actually the exceptions that we are going to handle. Okay, so it's also called as exception handling. So exception occur at runtime. Okay, so you can also called as all the errors that are runtime during runtime are known as actually the exceptions. Okay, and we can actually handle them. So exceptions can be handled by a programmer. Okay, if a exception cannot be handled, then it is not an exception but error. Okay, if we cannot handle them, okay, then that will be called as an error. Okay, so I hope it is clear now. Okay, so let's move. So let's start with the first type of error, that is syntax error. So it's one of the most basic thing that we face. Like sometimes we forget to add the double quotes, or sometimes we forget about the indentation. Okay, so at that time, and we know that the role of indentation in Python is very important. Like by the help of that only we can actually define the scope, and that's very important to for the execution of the code. Okay, so this syntax errors deal with all those problems that we like by mistake we do it in the code, and the problem is in the code. Okay, so the error which occur because of syntax mistakes, okay, that types of error are called syntax error. Okay, if any syntax error occurred in our Python program, in that case our program will not start the execution. Okay, now what happens, first, what basically what is happening, if whenever the interpreter is executing the code line by line, and as soon as the interpreter sees that yes, you have missed the double quotes that should be here, because we know that whenever we need to print any string, then we need to add or we need to enclose it by the double quotes. So here what happens, it will show you something like this. Here you can see this symbol, it shows you that you are missing something here. Okay, and that's the double quotes that should be there. Okay, so it shows you that. Okay, now here also there will be you can see here, it will show you that it is a syntax error, and EOL basically means end of line. End of line while scanning string literal. Okay, that means that the interpreter actually reached the end of the line, but it didn't it there's a syntax error. There should be the end of a string, and that end is not defined. Okay, and that end is like basically ending it by the double quote, and it is not defined here. So I hope now it is clear that is how and when we actually face the syntax error. You can go, you can just try some of the syntax error. Like you can do it for indentation error. Like you can just you can like suppose if I started if x is greater than 10 and I forgot to add the colon. Okay, and you can just go and see, then it will show you indentation error. Okay, indentation error, or it will show you the colon error. So there are so many types of syntax error inside it. You can go and explore, and basically just remember this, that syntax error simply means the problem is in the code. Okay, we need to check our code for it. Okay, we cannot handle this error, we need to change the we need to change the code, or we need to check it in the code for the execution. Okay, we cannot handle it. Okay, handling basically means that we can actually be, if I'm saying that we can actually handle some errors, now what does that mean? It simply means that any kind of logical error, like sometimes what happens, uh like the same example that I have given you all, that I'm asking user to input the value of x and y. Now I can add some code or add some part that will deal with if the user, okay, if the user enters y value as 0, then I can actually handle this kind of error. I can actually write in the code that if this is the condition, then you can write or you can print that yes, the you can ask user to add some other value or to give some other value. The value that you have entered is will cause some problem. Okay, you can actually handle that type of error. So that's called exception handling. Okay, or you can say that we are actually handling the runtime errors. Okay, so yeah, let's just check what is a runtime error, also known as logical error, and this is what exception is. Okay, so the error which occur after the start of the program execution. Okay, in this the program is actually getting executed. These type of errors are called runtime errors. Okay, so what happens? The code is actually executing. There is no syntax error. Okay, but like as soon as the something we want to print, okay, as soon as the print statement is getting executed, it sees that there is some problem in either, you can say, in the input or the value that is need to be printed. Okay, there is some problem with it. Okay, so now like here print hello, the statement is, or the first line is print hello. Okay, this will be printed. Then x, integer type of value. Now what does this mean? It means that whenever the user needs to enter only the integer type of value, this actually known as casting. Okay, so we are actually defining our input. Okay, we are telling that user should only enter an integer type of value. Okay, now and I'm printing this x. Like suppose now what happens, as soon as I run this code. Okay, now what happens, there will be no syntax error. Okay, so obviously this code will be executed, and as soon as you enter some value of x. Okay, now what happened, user by mistake, he or she entered a string kind of value. You can see this is a string type of value, and what we actually needed integer type of value. Okay, now that's causing the problem. Okay, although our syntax is correct, everything is fine, but here the problem is with the input. Okay, now enter x value, hey. Okay, suppose now what happens, sorry, this is the hello that is printed for this. Okay, this is printed for this. Now here what I'm doing, I'm entering the string value, enter x value, hey. Okay, so what happens, this will cause you the value error. Why? Because invalid literal for int, that is there should be integer type of value, but the user entered in string type of value. Okay, and this is causing the problem. Okay, so you can understand, you can go and code it. Okay, so here you can see first line. Let me just explain it again. This first line is actually getting executed because there is no syntax error. It is actually here it should be capital H. Okay, just consider that. Okay, so this line is getting executed, and here it is getting printed. Okay, hello. And then again coming to this line, so this line is getting, what happens, as soon as we enter the string type of value, which the basically the interpreter was asking to have the integer type of value. Okay, but it gets string type of value, so it shows the value error. Okay, so I hope now the concept of runtime error is I think it is clear. So that's the main difference between the syntax error and runtime error. So in runtime error, there are so many built-in errors that are there. Okay, so let's see about those. Okay, so here only, okay, exception handling. Let me just show you how we can actually handle the runtime error. Okay, during runtime. Okay, so that's called exception handling. The purpose of exception handling is to prevent the abnormal termination. Now, what is this abnormal termination? Basically, our code was executing. We have seen that the first line was printed, and then the the user was asked to enter the value of x. We have seen that. Okay, everything was going fine. The interpreter was executing the code. Okay, but suddenly there was a value error, and that will be known as, or that will that will be actually the abnormal termination. Okay, because the terminal is not executing the code, and it is not actually ending by itself. There is an abnormal termination, okay, of the program whenever the exception occurred in our program. Now exception is what, that we have received actually the string type of value, whereas we needed the integer type of value. So that's actually the exceptions. It's the simple meaning, like we like it's the simple meaning, like the word says, it is the exception that we occurred. Okay, so occurred in our program, then immediately it identify which exception occurred. Okay, and which exception occurred, that means there are some built-in exceptions that are already there in Python that are defined, like we have seen in the last slide. It was showing you that it is a value error. How does that, like how is that printed? It is showing you that yes, the value that was required is not given. Okay, so there are some built-in exceptions. So we are going to see about it. And to create that particular type of exception class object, receiving that exception class object and forwarding it as an alert. Okay. So we are actually getting an alert that whatever the value that we have received is actually causing an exception. Okay. So yeah, basically we have two types of exceptions, okay, or two types by which we can actually handle these runtime errors or exceptions. It is first is built-in exception, and then second is user-defined exception. So built-in exceptions are all those exceptions that are already there, that are already defined in our Python code. Okay, we don't have to like tell that yes, if it is like, if I input, like if terminal was asking for integer type of value, if the interpreter was asking for an integer type of value and I gave it, okay, and I gave the string type of value, then I don't have to tell the interpreter that you, or the terminal, that you need to write the value error, or an alert of value error should be shown. Okay, I don't have to tell it, or I don't have to code it. That's called built-in exceptions, because that those errors are actually defined in Python. Okay, so that's called built-in exception. And user-defined exceptions are those exceptions that we will show to the like we will print it. Okay, so that's, those are user-defined exceptions. Okay, sometimes we actually raise some exceptions. So like suppose you are creating an application, and there are sometimes that you don't want user to do some of the things. Okay, so at that time the role of this exceptions comes, that is we actually manually raise some exceptions. We are raising some exception. Okay, so uh, okay, so I hope now the concept of what are the types of exception handling, what is syntax error and then runtime error is clear to you all. Okay, so let me show you some of the example of how the syntax error actually happens. Okay, so like here you can see I have initialized one variable and then the print statement. Okay, so and you can actually notice here the error is actually here. You can see I have started the like there is one colon, and after that there should be a space. Okay, we know that they, by the help of space, or you can say the indentation only, we actually get to, or we define the scope. Okay, or we actually tell the interpreter that yes, this statement is actually where it is inside this if statement. Okay, if condition. Okay, now let's just see what happens, whether this code will get executed or not even. So let's just check out. Okay, so the file name game.py. Okay, you can see even the first statement, or you can say this line is also not getting executed. Why? Because there is a syntax error here. Okay, and in the syntax error, which kind of error? That is indentation error. There is no scope that is defined here. Okay, or you can say there is no space that will define the scope. Okay, and that's why the entire code, or you can see when the execution has not started. Okay, so in you can see here that in syntax error the execution of the code doesn't happen, but I will show you some of the runtime error where everything goes fine, like there's no error in the, like the code will be executed, everything will work. Only the part where the logical error is there, okay, that part will show the error, or you can say it will show you that what kind of error or what kind of built-in exception is there. Okay, so let me just show you that. like same statement. Okay. uh wait, okay, 10. Let me just write that only. I will just remove this by y. Okay. And y equal to 6, suppose, or y equal to 0. Let me just show you that. Okay. And by this you can see this indentation. Okay, this will define the scope. Everything is okay. I don't You can see there's no syntax error. Okay, everything is fine. Let's just see how it work. Okay, you can see the first line is getting executed. That is, the interpreter is reading this line, it is executing this line, and it comes here, it checks that yes, x is greater than 10, then y equal to 0. And here in this line you can see, in even in line 5 it will show you in which line the error is. Okay, in line 5 we have the problem, that is zero division error. Okay, and that is the runtime error, when it is showing you the what is the type of exception that is coming. Okay, and now what you can do, you can actually handle this type of exception. That is, you can make this code in such a way that this execution doesn't terminate abnormally. This is called abnormal termination. Okay, the code is not actually terminating by itself, it is actually terminating forcefully. Okay, or you can say abnormally. Okay, so that's where the role of exception handling comes, where we can actually write some of the condition that if this type of error is happening, then you write, or you tell the user that yes, you do have to enter, or you have to write any other code, you have to enter any other value of y. Okay, so that's called logical error, and we are going to see how we can actually handle this type of errors. Okay, so yeah, and that's the difference. That is, first we have seen that we cannot handle syntax error, we need to change the code. We cannot we cannot add some kind of reasons, or you can say some kind of code to handle those kind of error. We need to change the code for it. Okay, in case of syntax error there's no option of handling that. But in runtime error we can we can add some code which can deal with this type of error. Okay, so we are going to see how we can actually do. So there are some keywords that actually help us in doing that. Okay, so yeah, let's just continue with the built-in exceptions. What are the built-in exceptions? And I hope now the how this syntax error is working, how this runtime error is working. I hope that is clear to you all. Okay, so let's move to built-in exception. In built-in exceptions, automatically exception classes will be created, and it will raise exceptions automatically, but we can handle the built-in exceptions manually. Okay, so we have seen that already. Let's just check some of the common built-in exceptions that are there in Python. Okay, and we can actually handle them. We can tell that if there is, or you can say, so there's a keyword I'm going to tell you all, but till now I'm just explaining that if there is a zero division error. Okay, if there is a zero division error, then you can print that yes, there is some problem in your code, or there is a logical error. You can print something, so that what happens, your code will not terminate abnormally. Okay, it will print something, it will show you that there is an error and you can handle it. Okay, so that's how we can actually stop our code from terminating abnormally. Okay, so the first one is index error. Now what is that index error? So when the wrong index of a list is retrieved, like suppose we know that we can do indexing in list. Okay, if you remember, there are how many types of sequence? Basically we have list, tuple, dictionary, and set. Okay, and we know each of them has some specific properties, that is ordered, then changeable, then indexed. Okay, so when I'm retrieving any value, like suppose if I'm writing a5, okay, and there are only four elements. Okay, in that list, in that specific list there are only four elements, and I'm trying to print fifth index value. Now, what is that? That is actually the index error or value out of bound error. Okay. So that's where this wrong index concept come, and it is actually built in the Python. You don't have to worry whenever this type of error happens. The terminal will show you the alert. There will be an alert in your screen, and that will show you that which kind of error you are facing. Okay, in runtime error. Okay, there is one indentation error. If you remember, that is actually inside the syntax error only. So it is coming inside the built-in exceptions, where in this built-in, what is happening in this indentation error, I have also shown you. Like we sometimes forget to add the space, okay, or define the scope. So at that time, this type of error happens when indentation is not correct. Okay. Next is zero division error. That is one of the example of runtime error where there's a logical error. Okay, we are dividing any value, any integer value by zero, and it is undefined. We know that, and Python doesn't understand what is infinity. Okay, so at that time, this type of error will be shown. Assertion error, it occurs when assert statement fails. Now, coming to this statement, it is actually going to help you, or I will explain you this word. It is actually going to help us in exception handling. That is, the two type of words are there. That is, two words are there mainly to handle the exceptions. That is raise and assert. Okay, so till now, just I'm just letting this error, or just ignore this for now, because I'm going to explain this assert part, and at that time I will tell you how this assertion error can be handled actually. Then we have attribute error. So we know that it occurs when an attribute assignment is failed. So now what is an attribute? We know that attribute is nothing but the variables and methods. Okay. So sometimes it happens that we assign a different type of value, a wrong type of value. Okay, so that's called attribute error. Then import error, like sometimes there's no module that is like suppose I have defined a module that is a b d, suppose. Okay, I won't say about abc because that is the defined class, we know that. Okay, like suppose I have a module that is abd. Okay, and by mistake I'm writing import and ABE. Okay, now that's causing the import error. Why? Because there is no module name as sorry, ABE. Okay, there is no module that is named like ABE, and that will cause you the import error. Then the imported module is not defined or not found. Okay, key error, it occurs when the key of the dictionary is not found. Okay, like sometimes we try to access the element of that dictionary by the help of a key that is actually not defined, that is actually not there in that dictionary. That is called key error. I think these are the very basic. By the name only, you can understand what kind of error you will do when this type of error will be found, okay, in your code. So these are actually, there's no syntax error here. Okay, there is a problem in the logic here. You can see in the case of indentation, we have the syntax error. We can see that we have, like by mistake we have defined, or there's a problem in the spacing, okay, in the code. So that's called syntax error. That's why, and in this case there will be no execution of the code. Okay, then we have name error. Okay, it occurs when the variable is not defined. Like suppose I have defined x is equal to 5 and I want to access this value, but by mistake, like after like line, like suppose I have defined this variable in line 5, and now I'm in line 105, suppose. Okay, and I just I thought that I have assigned the value 5 in variable y, and I'm writing print y, and y is actually not defined. So that is called name error. Okay, so yeah, memory error, it occurs when a program runs out of memory. Okay, then type error, it occurs when a function and operation is applied in an incorrect type. Okay, so these are some of the basic, by the name only, I can tell you that you must be clear with these type of error. But don't stop here. I would suggest you to explore each and every error, because if you will code it, then only it will actually get into your mind, and whenever you will see this type of error, you will actually understand that where is the problem in your code. Okay, this will help you to actually debug your error. Okay, you can actually do that. Okay, so yeah, now here comes the role of how we can actually handle the exceptions. Like we have seen that yes, there are some errors, there are some built-in exceptions, but we can actually handle them. We can make sure that our code doesn't like our terminal doesn't terminate, okay, abruptly, okay, like abnormally, okay, like it there will be like it will terminate when it is like when it is ending. Okay, so we can actually do catching exception in Python, that is we can actually handle them. So let's just see how we can do. In Python, exceptions can be handled using a try statement. Now this is a keyword I'm going to tell you all. If you are clear with the concept of if else and I guess the conditional statements, then there will be no problem here. Okay, you can just, it's very simple. Okay, the critical operation which can raise an exception is placed inside the try clause. Okay, so basically this try keyword, okay, this try is going to code or use, it is going to have all those part or that part of the code which will actually cause the exception, or you can say which will actually cause the error. Okay, the code that handles the exception is written in except clause. Okay, so we have basically let me just change the marker color. Okay, yeah, so we have mainly try and except clause. Okay, inside this what we are doing, we are actually writing those code that will cause the error, code that will cause an error. Okay, and inside this inside except clause, what we will do, we will write the code or we will try to handle it. Okay, we will write the statement that we want to execute if the specific error happens. Okay, if that specific error caused. Okay, so yeah, so this try, and then we will use this colon to define the scope, or you can say the indentation. And after this, there will be an indentation. I'm just giving you the rough syntax. I'm going to tell you the exact syntax. So data is equal to something that can go wrong. I'm writing it in the simple words so that you can actually understand it. If you will understand it, then obviously you can code it. Okay. So data equal to something that can go wrong, or I'm assigning it in a variable. Okay, now except if something, like if this condition happens, you can take this like if statement. If you remember how we used to deal with that, the same way this try is actually like if there is an error caused in this statement. Okay, then what will happen, this code, okay, this will handle the exception error. Okay, and we will do how we can actually do the exception, or we can handle it. So and else, okay, if this is not happening, okay, if, or you can say if there is no exception that is getting occurred, no like there is no problem in the code. Okay, then what will happen, this else will work, that is doing different exception handling. Okay, we can do any other exception if it is there. Okay, that's the simplest way how you can understand the concept of try and except and else. So yeah, let me just explain you the basic keywords that we are going to use to handle these. So there are two ways how you can actually, like how you can actually do the exception handling, either by assertion, okay, assertion error, or by raising the exception manually. Okay, so we are going to see about it, and these are the mainly the keywords that are used to handle inside try. What we mainly do, we actually we write the code, or we write the code that can cause an error. Okay, inside this except, we actually write the code, or we can say the code that will handle that error or that exception. Okay, else is the part that will be executed if this try statement is not getting executed. Okay, that means there will be, if there is no error, or if this try statement is not getting executed, then this else statement will be executed. So it's the same like if else condition part. Okay, and then we are going to see about what is finally is just like a, you can say, any inside finally we write such a code that we need to execute in anyhow, like anyhow we need to execute that. Okay, so let me show you the syntax first. Let's change the marker color. Yeah. Yeah. So here you can see what I'm doing. If you have seen the last previous video, I've explained that what is a module, and inside that there is a built-in module that is sys. Okay, that is actually telling us about the system. Okay, so yeah, and it is allowing us to execute or do it by the terminal. Okay, so not going much into deep into that, you can go and watch that video. I've clearly explained everything about it. Okay, so I'm importing the module, and there is a random list. It's the variable name. I'm creating a list. Okay, that's the name simply. So a list is getting created where the values are a, 0 and 2. Now what I'm doing, I'm starting a for loop that will work inside this list. Okay, that will basically take the values of each elements inside this list, and then we have this try and except condition. Now what is happening inside this, what we are doing inside this try, what we will write, the code or the problem that is there. Basically inside this try, the problem is getting written. Okay, problem is getting coded. Okay, we will code the problem, and except will handle that problem. Okay, it's as simple as that. Okay, I don't think there will be any problem, I guess, to understand this such a simple thing. So what we are doing, we will first come here, we will write this, that is a, we will take this value, and then we will work with it. Okay, so let me just explain it. Now try print entry is, and then entry we will write this with the first value, then second value, then third value. So the first value is suppose a, this will be printed. Then r equal to 1 by int a. Okay, and then break. So what will happen if there will be any problem? Okay, if there is any problem that is happening inside this code, okay, then this exception will work. And inside this exception we have a lot of print statement. You can see oops, that is like the statement, and then sys, we are calling this module. And inside, if you remember, I've already explained that inside the sys module we have a function. Okay, we have a function that basically deal with the exceptions. Okay, it actually contains the exception info. Okay, information. So what we are doing, we are actually calling the module. Okay, and inside that the function that actually deal with the exceptions information. So we are calling the, it will first check what type of error is there. Okay, what type of problem is there, then this it will find it inside this, and then occurred. So what will happen, this module, inside this module, whatever the exception that is found here, it will be first searched here, what is the name of that error, and that error will be printed here and then occurred. Okay, next entry, that is it will tell you that now we are going to the next entry, and then print. Then again we will go to the second element, that is this for loop will again go, or it will again start. We know that for loop, what is the concept of for loop, it will actually iterate over each element. Okay, it will first come to a, then 0, then 2. Okay, so coming to the next element, that is 0. Now what will happen, the entry is 0, it will first print that. Then what will happen, 1 by 0, we know that it is undefined. Then what will happen, it will cause an error. Then we will come to exception part, oops, and then sys module, it will go to the sys module, it will find what kind of error it is actually. So it will find the value error that is inside this function. It will show that it is occurred. So this is how it is actually happening. And at last there is a print statement. Okay, print the reciprocal of entry is r. Okay, so yeah, and r is actually the 1 by this. Okay, so what is happening, let me just show you the So the output will look something like this. The entry is A, and you can see the value error. Okay, value error. Why it is showing you value error? Because in the last, what was the first element? A. And what we are doing, we are actually doing 1 by A. And we are first, like we are writing or we are casting it as int, then A. We cannot convert any character to int. It is causing a value error. It was actually searching for integer type of value, but we are not able to convert it. So it is like it first went to the module, that is sys module. Inside that we had a class that was actually focusing with the exceptions info, okay, which was having the exception info, okay. So inside that it searched for the value error that is already there. It is defined inside this module, okay. You don't have to worry about it. So it printed that value error and it occurred. So you can see this is how it works. Next entry, the value is 0. So it again went to what kind of error it is forming. So what was happening? 1 by 0 was happening. That is zero division error. So it is showing that yes, it is a zero division error. The entry is 2. 2 will work fine because 1 by 2 we can directly write yes, it is 0.5. Okay. So what is happening? There is no like inside the try, we have seen that yeah, there is no error that is being caused. So what is happening? The next statement, or you can say, let me just show you again. Yeah. So this statement is getting executed. That is the print the reciprocal of the entry is R. Okay. This statement is getting executed, or the remained, or you can say the reciprocal is getting printed. Okay. So that's how this concept of try and except is working. Try causes the error, and exception actually try to handle that error. Okay. So that's how you can like I have tried to explain the concept. Even you can use this is very important module. I've also told you all or I have explained you about this module in the previous session, where I've already told you that inside this sys module we have this exception handling part. Okay, we are actually having the information about all the exceptions that can be occurred. So you can see how we are actually just like we are just showing, or we are just finding the what kind of error is there. Like here you can see what is happening. It is just calling the function, like what kind of error is there, and whatever the problem is being caused here, it is just showing that. Okay. So exception info is actually the problem that would show us, or that would be printed in the terminal. Basically, if I don't write except here, then what would happen? It would just show you, or the code would terminate abnormally. Okay. And in the terminal, we use, like we will see that yes, there is a value error for A because we wanted an integer type of error, or inside the terminal, we would see that there is a zero, like zero divide like divided error. So these type of problems are simply what is happening here. It is getting printed by, like by the help of this function. Okay, it's the same thing. Okay, so yeah, zero division error, everything. Yeah. Catching specific exceptions in Python. Now, in the last example, what we were doing, we were actually just like we were causing the problem, and the problem that would be printed in the terminal, we are just doing it, or we are just finding about that problem by the help of sys module. But what we can do, we can actually do for the specific exceptions. Okay. Now, how we can do that? Try inside this, we can write the code for the problem that will, like code the part that can actually cause the problem. Okay. And then inside this except, we can write the value error, or you can say the type of error we are going to handle for. So inside this, what will happen, it this code or whatever we will write inside this scope, it will actually work only if this, like the code that is inside this try block will show value error, then only this exception will work. Okay. That is, if this try statement gives you an any value error, okay, then this exception will work. Else it will just move, the interpreter will move to another exception. Here you can see we have multiple exceptions, that is type error, then zero division error. That is, whatever the code that you will write inside this exception block, this will work only for type error and zero division error. Okay, then why I'm writing pass here? Because I have not added any code here, that's why I have written pass. Okay, so that it won't show any error. Then at last, except it will work for every error. Okay, if like I have caused some error that is not a value error, that is not a type error, that's not a zero division error, but there is some error, suppose indentation error, then this except will work. Okay, so it's actually, if you remember the like the concept of if else, it's just the same like that. Okay, now we are going to see about raising an exception. Okay, so raising an exception, it as the name suggests, it's simply like we can actually like if there is no exceptions, okay, and I want to manually create some exceptions. Okay, there are some time like we need to create some exceptions or some conditions for which we want to handle it. Okay, so at that time we can use this raising an exception part. Okay, we can use raise to throw an exception, okay, if a condition occur. Like for some suppose I want to raise an exception if x is greater than 10, then actually by the help of this keyword, that is raise, you can throw an error. Okay, you can create an error. Okay, the statement can be complemented with a custom exception. Okay, and even you can handle that created error by the use of that except. That is, we know that how we use the same way, like try and except. Yeah, except same like that you can do it for it. Mm, yeah, so basically this raise keyword is actually used to manually raise some exception. Okay, so yeah, by this diagram you can understand raise and then exception. Okay, yeah, let me just show you some simple syntax. So what I'm doing, I'm starting the try block. Okay, and inside this try block I have a, we are asking the user to input integer type of value, and then if a is less than equal to 0. Okay, if like suppose I have asked user to enter a positive integer, but sometimes like some by mistake or by some by any reason, okay, user enters any negative value, then what happens, I want to show to the user an alert, or you can say an error, that you have entered a wrong value. Okay, or you need to enter a positive integer. Okay, so what I'm doing, if a is less than 0, suppose, okay, although I have asked to enter a positive integer, but user can enter a negative value too. So if a is less than equal to 0, then raise, that is manually raising an error, that is also value error. Okay, I'm manually raising the value error, and that is not a positive number with with an alert of this statement. Okay, this statement will be there, and yeah, that is not a positive integer will be shown. And exception, what I'm doing, or what is the exception part, that is how I'm handling that error that I have thrown it. Okay, I have caused this error and now I need to handle it. So except what I'm doing, like if this error is shown, then value error as ve, that is using this whatever this statement is, okay, as this variable, and then I'm printing it, that is I am basically printing this statement. Okay, I'm printing this statement in the exception part. Okay, and I'm handling it. Basically this will show the error. Okay, and in this exception part, what I'm doing, I'm printing this statement. Okay, so enter a positive integer and the user has entered a negative value, and that is not a positive number that is shown inside this except block. Okay, because this is causing an error. Okay, I hope this is clear to you all. This is basically the use of raise keyword, how you can actually create an error, or how you can manually handle the created error. Okay, so yeah. Now we are going to see about try with else clause. We have already seen one example where we have used this else clause, but let me just show you again. In some situation, you might want to run a certain block of code. If the code block inside try ran without any error, like sometimes what basically what we are doing, we are actually causing an error inside the try block. Yes, we are trying or we are basically writing those part of the code that may cause an error, that may, okay, the important point is that it may cause, okay, it's not compulsory that it will always cause. And if it will not cause any error, then what will happen, the exception will not work, okay, we know that. But sometimes we want to run some of these or some part of the code, or like some block of code. If there is no error, then that we can do inside the else clause, okay. So for these cases you can use optional else keyword with a try statement, okay. Exceptions in the else clause are not handled by the preceding except clause, okay. Like it's not like if I am using try and then except, okay, except and then I have else. So it's not like if like there is no error in try, then we know that there will the interpreter will not go to except clause or except code, it will directly go to the else part. So it doesn't mean that if inside this else, if I'm raising some error, then it doesn't mean that it will go back and then execute the exception part, okay. It will not handle that. That is, the error will not be handled by the exceptions, okay, by the exception part, okay. So yeah, exception in the else clause are not handled by the preceding except clause. We need to add another exception for that if you want to handle it, okay. So yeah, let me just show you here. Like try, inside try block, what I'm doing, I'm creating I'm asking user to enter a number, integer type. Then I'm using this assert, okay. There's basically, I have already explained this, that there's two type of keyword that is used to actually manually generate some error, okay. So there's one raise and there's this assert keyword. So we are going to come to assertion error, don't worry about it. Till now just understand that it's basically to generate the error in that part. Like if that condition doesn't satisfy or it is not satisfied, then what will happen, it will actually cause an error, okay. So that's why I'm using this assert, okay. And then num mod 2 equal to 0. What we are doing, we are checking if this condition is true, okay. Then if this condition is not satisfied, okay. So if it is not satisfied, then what happens, it is not an even number, okay. If like this statement is not true, that means it is causing an error, okay. So like this condition, if this condition is true, then it's okay, okay, our code will run fine and we are not having any error. But if it doesn't satisfy, that is we are having any odd number, then it is not an, like this exception part will execute, okay. And like suppose I have some even number, like the input is some even number, that is it is equal to 0, then what will happen, we will go to else part, that is reciprocal will be printed, okay. Let me show you the output so that it will be more clear to you all. So basically the output, yeah, basically the output will be, the else part will be executed if num mod 2 is equal to 0, okay. That is we are not having any error, this condition is satisfied. So we will come back to this assertion error in like we are having this topic. So till now, let's just move to next topic, that is try and with finally, okay. Now this finally is like let me just explain it again, okay. The try statement in Python can have an optional finally clause, okay. Now this is just the same like the else clause, where else clause was executed if the try is not showing any error, okay. If there is no error, the condition whatever it is being executed, it is correct, then the else part was getting executed, okay. But this finally is simply that whatever you write inside this finally clause, it will be executed anyhow, whether the error inside the try is correct or wrong. It doesn't care about it. Okay, this clause is executed no matter what, and is generally used to release external resources. Okay, sometimes we need to print something, even though there is any error or not, we don't care about it. We need to print something, then at that time what we can do, we can actually use this finally keyword. Okay, this finally block is used to represent resources releasing messages like connection established or payment failed. Okay, so like what I want to, like, sometimes you will see if you are using any application or payment application or anything like that, you there is some messages there at last, and those type of messages are there inside this finally clause. Okay, the statements in finally block will be executed for sure, whether whether the exception raised or not raised. Even though if exception raised, then it is handled or not handled. Okay, that type of statements represented in finally block. Okay, basically those type of statements that we want to get executed, even though the whatever the error is getting executed, or even though the error is caused or not, we are not bothering about it. It will get executed. Okay, fine. So let me just show you. Yeah, so here print hello. Okay, try. We are asking user to input any integer value, then print the value is x by y. Okay, now what is happening, like suppose if the value of y is 0, okay, then it will show some error, that is value error. So this exception part will work. Okay, x and y values must be integer type only. Okay, if like suppose if any, like here actually we are passing any value error, that at that time only this will get executed. Okay, that is suppose if the user inputted any string value, or if the user gave any string value or any other value and not the integer value, then this exception part will work. Okay, and this finally will not care if the, like, if there is some error or not, this statement will get executed for sure. Okay, so this exception will only work for the value error, not for zero division error, because I have I have told you that if y equal to 0, then it will not cause any error, or it will actually terminate but not work with this exception part. Okay, this, it will have an abnormal termination. Okay, yeah, so let me just, so here you can see. So what is the output? Output without any exceptions, that is hello. Then first line was executed. Okay, enter x value 10, and then enter y equal to 2, then the value is 5.0. Okay, and I will execute for sure whatever the value is. Okay, even like if the value is showing any error or not, it doesn't care about it. Okay, it will execute for sure. Okay, the finally block will. Next, we are coming to the most important part, that is the assertion error. And I have also shown you how we are actually using this assert keyword to actually check the condition. By the help of that condition, we are causing an error. Okay, if that condition is satisfied, okay, if that condition is satisfied, then no problem, there is no error. And if it is not satisfied, then it will go to the exception part. Okay, instead of waiting for a program to crash midway, you can also start by making an assertion in Python. We assert that a certain condition is met. If this condition turns out to be true, okay, like we are actually giving some condition, and if that condition is true, then that is excellent. Okay, and there is no error. Okay, the program can continue. But if the condition turns out to be false, you can have a program throw an assertion error exception. Okay, that is, you can throw some error, or you can cause the exception part. Okay, you can create an exception part and you can handle that error. Okay, so basically assert, test the condition is true or not. Okay, so yeah, let me just show you how you can actually use this. So basically what we are doing, we are taking the value x is equal to 1 and y equal to 0, then assert y not equal to 0. What I'm doing, I'm checking, okay, I'm checking if y not equal to 0. And if it is true, okay, suppose y is not equal to 0, then no problem, the code will execute it. Else, like if y, we can see that yes, y equal to 0, and here we are checking the condition and it is false, okay. So what will happen? What is actually happening here? You can see the invalid operation, that is denominator cannot be 0. So what is the problem here? Like first we have checked that y not is equal to 0. Then yeah, if it is true, then it will work. Else it will show the assertion error, okay, or invalid operation will be printed, okay. So yeah. Here you can see what I'm doing. I'm actually handling this. So if like if in the last previous example, like let me just show you. Yeah, in the previous in this example, I have just like I have tried to manually use the or manually create the assertion error, but here I'm using the exception clause to actually handle this error. So accept assertion error as message, and then whatever the message you want to print, okay, so that will be printed. The error message provided by the user gets printed, okay, that is this invalid operation, okay, that will be printed here, okay. So I hope the concept of assertion error is also clear now. Let's just go to the last part. Till now, what we were dealing with, we were actually dealing with all those built-in exceptions that are there. That is, we were creating the we were creating the condition. Although we were raising it manually, but we were actually somehow at the last we were using all those built-in exceptions. Yes, but now we can actually create some exceptions by itself, that is user defined exceptions. And let me just explain you. We can define exceptions according to our requirements. That types of exceptions, that type of exceptions are user defined exceptions. Now how we can do it? So the first step is we need to create a user defined exception class, okay. So there's there's a built-in class of exception, okay. First we need to create a class of you for user defined class. So class also should extend the exception class. So we have this built-in class that is created for exception. So first what we do, whatever the class that we are creating, we will first inherit from the exception class that is already there, and then it is called as user defined exception class. Second, what we will do, we need to raise the user defined exception, whatever the exception that we need to alert or we need to show using the raise keyword, we can do that. And in this step we need to handle the user defined exception by the use of try and except block. So if you are clear with the concept of raise and how we were doing it in the in the raise keyword with the help of raise keyword, then it will be very easy for you. Let me just explain this simple example. Class, and then the class name is, and then what I'm doing, I'm actually inheriting. If you remember the concept of inheritance, I'm inheriting from the built-in class that is exception, okay, and I'm writing value too small class, okay, then value too large, and I'm writing this, okay. Now what I'm doing, importing one module that is random, and then I'm creating a range from which I need to randomly generate a value. The range is 0 to 5, okay. Now while this condition is true, I want to enter, I want to value, I want the user to enter, to guess any value from 0 to 5, okay. Enter your guess value, okay. If y is greater than x, okay, x will be generated randomly, any value that is less than from 0 to 5, okay, any value that is between this range, okay. What we are doing, if the value, or we can say whatever the guessed value is, okay, it can be any value, we are just asking the integer value to guess, okay, the user, okay. So if y is greater than 0, then raise value too large. That is what we are doing, we are actually using this value, raising this what we can say, we are first creating an exception class, okay. mainly exception is a class. What we are doing, we are creating an exception class of our own. Okay, like earlier what we used to do, we used to raise value error, or we used to write yes value error, and then we used to pass the instruction that we need to print. Okay, we used to do it like that. But now what I'm doing, I'm manually creating the exception class, so I don't there's no problem, we can directly call it. So this class is getting called, this one. Okay, else if, okay, y is less than 0, then I'm calling the value too small class, and then else break. Then again, if any of this is getting, like if any of this is showing an error, then this exception block will work, that is value too large. For value too large, I want to print entered value is too large. Then if this error, this class is getting executed, or it is getting raised, it is showing an error, or you can say it is getting invoked, then what we will do, this entered value is too small, that is this will be printed. Okay, and then at last entered value is matched to random value. Okay, that is if none of the above exception work, or if none of the above like statement is getting executed, or error is shown, then what we will do, that is the guessed value is actually the value that is getting randomly generated, that is simply x is equal to y. Okay, so yeah, so here you can see enter your guess value, that is 3. Entered value is too small because it may be possible that the random value that we that has been chosen for x from in between 0 to 5, it is actually small. Okay, so enter your guess value, that is 2. So entered value is too small, then enter your guess value 4. Enter value is matched to random value. Okay, so this is how we can actually use our own created, that is user defined exception. What we are doing, as we are knowing that whatever the like exception that we were using, that is the built-in exceptions, that are actually the class exceptions. There is a class of exceptions. Okay, but now what we are doing, we are creating our own class. Okay, our own class of exceptions, and there what I'm doing, I'm defining what type of exception I want to do. So I have created a class for value too small exception, then I have created a class for value too large exception, and for creating it like an exception, what I'm doing, I'm inheriting it from the exception class. Okay, so let me just explain. Although I have explained it clearly, so you can just read this. That is, in this example, we store a random value in the x variable, and we applied an infinite while loop with break keyword. When the user enters a value which equals to the random x variable, the program execution stop. That is, it breaks, and the last print statement, that is the value is matched, was printed. Okay, if user enters a number which is greater than or less than x, it throws an except block, and we know that the whatever the whatever the error that is thrown. Okay, the exception class that we have created is being called. Okay, related to that error type. If the enter value is small than random value, then the value too small except block will be executed, and if the value is greater than uh, large or greater than, then value too large except block will be executed. So finally, what we have done or we have studied, let me just wind up by just explaining all those things first, like just recalling it. First, we have, like, now we have the idea of what is an error, what is an exception. Then we have seen about all the built-in exception, how we can handle it by try, then except clause, and how we can use else, how we can use final, and then how we can raise an exception. That is how we can raise an built-in exceptions. Okay, built-in exception, that is value error, zero division error, those are created, already created ones. Okay, but also what we can do, we can assert or we can create the condition to check if that condition is true, then okay. And if that condition is not true, what we can do, we can just create an except block. Okay, also we can create our or user defined exception block. Okay, and we can create a class by just inheriting like inheriting the exception class that is already built, and we can manually define our exception block. So by this we come to the end of our video. I hope you guys like this video, and do give your reviews, and go explore more, and create some mini project related to this exception. You can actually create some, like we have already seen one example where what we have done, we have actually created a random like guess game. What we are doing, we are asking user to guess any number, and we are like we are just comparing it with the random number. Okay, so that's all. Thank you.